Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this session of Vertica Unify 2021. Our next breakout session is entitled, What's New in Vertica 11? I'm Paige Roberts, Open Source Relations Manager at Vertica. I'll be your host for this webinar. Joining me from Vertica is Mark Lyons, who heads Product Management. But before we begin, I encourage you to submit your questions during the virtual session. You don't have to wait. Just enter your question into the Q&A box on the right-hand side of the screen as it occurs to you. There'll be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation, and we'll answer as many questions as possible during that time. Any questions that we don't address, we'll do our best to answer offline. Alternatively, visit the virtual developer lounge, because everything is virtual, to ask additional questions and continue the conversation with our engineers and product experts after the session. And yes, this virtual session is being recorded and it will be available to view on demand this week. We'll send you a notification as soon as it's ready. Be sure to stick around to the very end of the presentation for the code you use to participate and gain points in our Analyze to Win competition for prizes. Now let's get started. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Paige, and super happy to be here with everyone for Unify 2021. Let's get started. The first stop here is just a quick disclaimer slide. I just want to remind everyone a bunch of this presentation, or a part of it, will be forward-looking and some of it's roadmap and confidential, so please keep that in mind. And here we go. So as we get rolling here, I just want to kind of give everyone a take on the Vertica story and how we got to this journey of Vertica 11, the next major release. Our unified analytics platform is set up to handle data in any format ingested from many different sources, streaming or batch, and query that data, whether it's in the database or in your data lake. We support a wide variety of workloads from BI to data science and accessing with popular language like SQL, Python, Jupyter, or R. So all the users of your unified analytics platform can leverage the data and insights with the tools that they prefer. We started this journey with an architecture built for performance, and we've stayed in that path as we enter Vertica 11. So same Vertica as we all know, parallel processing, ROS format for columnar storage, as well as our favorite open source columnar formats, Parquet and Orc, compressing the data and optimizing it for query with projections. This vision has continued as the world around us has changed. So over the years, through many major releases, we've moved Vertica to the clouds. We've built and developed Eon Mode, which is separating compute and storage. We brought Vertica SQL Analytics to the Apache Hadoop ecosystem for querying Parquet and Orc data. And we built ML functions into the database to support the entire data science process. So over the years, the world has changed, but Vertica stayed true to its performance and data analytics vision. So today, I'm going to take everyone through what's new in Vertica 11. Before we do that, I just want to remind everyone some of the highlights from 10.x release journey that we just wrapped up. Some of the major elements to take a look at are a redesigned management console create database wizard for super easy setup of the Vertica database, as well as the XGBoost algorithm, recursive with, extra wide tables, the Vertica Pi library, just to name a few. You can find the details plus much more in our documentation. The release notes section and the new features guide are terrific, so check that out as you move forward in your Vertica journey. With Vertica 11, we've really continued the community growth, especially with these open source projects. So I want to just point out a few new ones and encourage everyone to add their own project at awesome-vertica on our GitHub page. You can bring your own community project and get it shared with everyone. Some of the new projects are our Vertica Kubernetes operator, our Vertica Pi library, which I'll talk a little bit more about later in the presentation, a new Vertica Spark connector, and a new Grafana plugin that's signed by Grafana is coming soon. So definitely take a look at our GitHub page. There's a lot to offer and a lot of open source projects, and we are looking for community engagement. Moving into Vertica 11, some of the major themes of this release are additional deployment flexibility for Eon Mode as well as containers, and I'll talk more about software as a service, SaaS. strengthening the security story, lots more on the machine learning and analytics front. We always invest in analytics. That's why we store all of our data and run these big systems. And then performance. The Eon Mode Journey. So Vertica 11 is a great pause point on the Eon Mode Journey because now we're adding the Microsoft Azure public cloud, which rounds out the three major public clouds in the world: AWS, Google, and Azure. So Eon Mode is available as GA for all the features and functionality on Azure and Vertica 11. And then in addition to that, we recently announced the Dell ECS platform as a Eon non-public cloud option for private cloud deployments. So super excited, nice work, team. From here, we are still testing Alibaba, and that would be a future Eon Mode deployment, as well as the teams working with NetApp, IBM, and Nutanix as other Eon Mode on-prem S3 options. Continuing on the deployment thread, now you can find both official container images on Docker Hub, as well as our Kubernetes operator open source on GitHub. The operator does many of your common tasks, including installing and uninstalling Vertica, the software, as well as creating a database, scaling it up and down, restarting nodes and subclusters, and health checks. If you're interested in learning more, attend the session called Running Containerized Vertica with Kubernetes Stateful Sets. The team, Ning, Amit, and Matt, will be presenting more detailed information as well as a demo, which is going to be super interesting. Just as a sneak preview into this, you can see a little more detail about the Kubernetes stateful sets and how the PVC is attached to each Vertica pod. And this basically diagram represents one subcluster, so you can scale this out. So again, attend the session if you are interested in Kubernetes and containers. From here, we're going to talk a little bit about strengthening the security story. And again, there's a session here if you're interested, Advanced Security Topics in Vertica with Ben and Chris. The highlights for Vertica 11 include the return of FIPS support. So Red Hat has now been certified by the US government with a new library at OpenSSL, and we've been able to bring back FIPS support. Please refer to the documentation for more details. We've also enhanced the voltage integration, which is for sensitive information, PII, their format preserving encryption from the CyberRes group at Micro Focus, as well as some better key configuration and management for multiple S3 buckets. So again, attend the session. Chris and Fen will go into detail on more security topics. From here, we have basically completed the journey with Parquet and or complex data types. So if you want to query maps, arrays, and structs in your data lake, you can do that with Vertica using our external tables as a query engine. Here you can see Vertica supports the set type, full support for nulls, and bounded arrays, which compared to many of the alternatives that have strong support for complex data types is very much superior. Again, this is for Parquet and ORC data with external tables. We have ROS data, which is the Vertica native format, read, optimize, store, in progress, and plan to have the same set of functionality for the ROS format. If you'd like to learn more about complex data types and querying maps, arrays, and structs, including the use cases and how it works, and some performance benchmarks, which are very interesting, check out this session called the Deep Dive for Complex Data Types with Deepak and Ryan. From here, I'm going to go a little bit into public cloud deployments, and let's first talk about a really exciting acquisition that we announced about a month ago. The Full 360 group was acquired by Vertica and Micro Focus and brought into the Vertica product group. They're a longtime strategic partner of Vertica, running many customers' Vertica databases on Amazon. Their Full 360 team is all certified AWS experts, and I just want to take a second to welcome the Full 360 team to Vertica. This acquisition strengthens our position in our Eon Accelerator Vertica SaaS product, which is available and open for early access. So you can find this at accelerator.vertica.com or vertica.com accelerator. And more information as well as demos will be presented by Vishal and Sumit at a session called Vertica Eon Accelerator Early Access. So to just give everyone a preview, if you're interested in Vertica Eon Accelerator, these are a couple of quick screenshots I grabbed of the product to show you how simple it is to monitor your databases, as well as show you how elastic auto-scaling policies can be set up in a few clicks. Again, this runs in your Amazon account. You can choose an availability zone in a region, choose a small database, a medium database, or a large database. choose an instance type, and you're off to the races. And then you can set up auto-scaling policies, idle timeout, and schedule your database to start and stop. So great work by the team, super excited. Definitely reach out. We would be happy to set you up and get you onboarded and let you try this out. From here, we're going to go into all the new analytics capabilities in Vertica for Vertica 11. So first, on the operationalizing machine learning at scale, which has been a huge pillar of the Vertica journey in our in-database ML capabilities, we've added support for PMML import for generalized linear models, and we also added TensorFlow 2.5, so the newest version of TensorFlow is supported in Vertica 11. From here, we've added time series forecasting algorithms in database. So as many of you are familiar, we have all your classification and clustering and regression algorithms already built into the database. And for Vertica 11, the team added the auto-regressive models as well as moving average models. So this is super easy. As you can see, I even put the simple SQL statements to train and predict on these models in the slide here. And if you'd like more information, join Wakas Dillon on my team at Scalable Time Series Analysis and Forecasting, another session at Unify this year. Continuing on the data science aspect of our product, Vertica Pi is a new project that we open sourced this past year. It combines the flexibility and ease of use of Python, which our data science community loves, with the back end of Vertica, so you get distributed processing and lots of power, as well as enterprise features around security and resource management. So this is the best of both worlds, a Jupyter Notebook, Python front end for the data scientist with the power of Vertica's engine behind the data science process. You can join Badr, the creator of the Vertica Pi project, at the Unify session called Machine Learning with Python and Vertica using Vertica Pi. Beyond Python, we also are introducing a new Vertica Spark connector for Vertica 11. This is open source. It's available on our GitHub page. You can see in the link right here, well as many other projects as I mentioned before. This integration is an improvement over the current Spark connector, similar architecture. Again, it's open source, so we're hoping for significant engagement from the community, pull requests, please, as well as feedback. It supports parallel data loading, filters, pushdown, projections, as well as Kerberos for our authentication. When you look across all the capabilities I just mentioned, from integrating with TensorFlow and PMML, to integrating with Spark, to training time series forecasting algorithms or PCA, SVM, auto-regressive algorithms, Vertica is offering the best database for data science. You have data prep, data exploration and visualization, scalable machine learning, and even machine learning automation with Vertica Pi. Some more exciting features in Vertica 11 are in our management console and stored procedures. Let me tell you a little bit more. So in the management console for Vertica 11, we added custom alerts. Now this is very exciting new capability. These alerts can be used to monitor the database health, the infrastructure health, or do analytics. There's no limit to what you can do with these custom alerts. The team also did an amazing job designing the user experience to be super easy and powerful. We look forward to the stories of how customers use this functionality because the possibilities are endless. Another huge set of new capabilities starting in Vertica 11 is stored procedures. This project, we're following the Postgres implementation, so we'll be using the PL/PG SQL language. And as you can see in the bottom of the slide, we are shipping a bunch of capabilities to do iteration without cursors, data management tasks, and encapsulate privileges. From here, in the subsequent releases and service packs, you'll see us add result set cursors, schedule-based time actions, and triggers. Beyond 2021, looking forward, the Vertica product development team is committed to many significant investment areas, from performance and deployment flexibility, which you've seen us deliver over the years, to ease of use and analytics as a service. The best way to learn more is the Vertica Academy. So if you're interested in learning more about Vertica 11, about our in-database machine learning, about deploying with containers in Kubernetes, Join us at academy.vertica.com. It's completely free online training for everyone, including hands-on labs. Okay, back to you, Paige.
Thanks, Mark. If you want to learn more after this conference is over, remember that our Vertica Academy is always available for free on-demand training and Vertica certifications. Now we're ready for Q&A. We got quite a few questions coming in while you were talking. The first one I'm going to go ahead and answer is easy. Yes, all these sessions are being recorded. I am not sure how many days, but we can get back to you and let you know how long they'll be available. But if you're registered, yes, everything will be recorded. So the next question is, when is Vertica 11 going to be available to download?
Yeah, sure. So the team's wrapping up this release, a major release. We're in our final kind of release candidate testing, stabilization, performance testing stages, and I'd expect the release to be available to download by mid-August, maybe end of August at the latest.
Okay. Looks like somebody actually answered that one. Vertica 11 is currently planned for general availability at the end of August. All right. So next question, is your container available on Docker Hub?
Yep. So there's two listings on Docker Hub. There's a community image of Vertica. So that's a single node version that's really for experiments and just functionally exploring the product. And then there's also a second listing which is optimized for running a workload with the Kubernetes operator. So there's two listings on Docker Hub. We are in progress of joining the Docker Hub ISV program right now as we speak. So that will give us the little badge to also verify these images that are posted as official.
Okay. Someone asked if they could join the early access program for Eon Accelerator. What's the requirements?
Yeah, so the early access program is open to the public, so anyone can join as long as you have your own Amazon account. That's basically the key requirement, because this is a bring your own cloud setup where our orchestration tier that runs on Amazon connects to your VPC and puts the Vertica database in your cloud account. So the EC2 servers, the S3 bucket, and everything is contained in your private Amazon network. So that's kind of the key requirement, is you need to be able to bring your own Amazon account. You can sign up online, and when you do, we will send you email with all the access policies, right, that the cross account takes, so that you can review those. And then once you do that, it's basically a CloudFormation template. It takes not that long, 10, 15 minutes. You can connect to the service, and then you'll be setting up Vertica databases in a few clicks like I just showed, and we're happy to answer any questions if you have.
Cool. When will that be available? When can we do that?
It's available now. So vertica.com/accelerator or accelerator.com or accelerator.vertica.com, you can sign up today. It's available now on Amazon. We'll make it available on other public clouds in the future. So Azure is planned as the next option.
It looks like one of our guys also said you can contact your account team, your sales or solutions architect for that.
For sure. For sure.
Another question, can we upgrade Vertica 9.3.0 directly to Vertica 11?
So you need to follow the major versions. We test the upgrades from like 8 to 9 to 10 to 11. So it's best to not skip. There's definitely some significant changes in between, and we don't recommend skipping directly to the newest version.
Oh, this is interesting. Someone just asked if we can expect to have Vertica Eon Accelerator on GCP and Azure coming soon, maybe.
Yeah, so our intentions
You already answered
are to have it available on all the major public clouds and potentially, even in the future, have that orchestration tier connected to non-hyperscaler public cloud environments. So it will be a journey, but the plan is to go from Amazon to Azure is the next priority. So GCP would likely be after that, but we'll see.
Okay. Someone posted the Docker Hub link. It's hub.docker.com/u/Vertica Docker. Vertica Docker was the last part.
Yeah, when we get we're joining the ISV program, like I mentioned, Paige, and we should be able to. We might be able to shorten the Vertica Docker to just Vertica. There's that, so stay tuned. But if you go on Docker Hub and search for Vertica, you'll find our listings.
Do we have a live replication option in Vertica? That was one of the questions.
No, there is some partner tools that do data replication, but Vertica right now doesn't have a live data replication capability. Some people are doing replication at the storage layer, like FlashBlades have some replication capability and stuff. Vertica is not. That is something that we're looking at, forward looking.
This was actually, I think, a good one for us to address. Someone's asking if we're going towards a convergence between Vertica and VoltDB.
Oh, and VoltDB. No. Many folks use VoltDB in their architecture as well. VoltDB is a separate company. It's a row-based system. There's a lot of history there. VoltDB stood for Vertica Online Transaction Processing System. It was separated from Vertica many years back. There's no convergence happening between the two products.
Yeah, I think that's the question is, are we headed towards a hybrid or are we staying analytics only? And I think that's a good thing to
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think for, the roadmap for Vertica is to stay focused on the analytics, the read optimized, the read side of those systems, not the write side.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think that's some people have a different strategy, but focusing on analytics and being really good at that is one thing that I think we are good at. Let's see. Can we expect oh, someone just made a comment. Vertica Eon Accelerator. Oh, will Vertica Eon Accelerator be free in the future?
So in the next few months, we'll be going to a commercial availability state where it will be paid. It will likely stay available for free trial, or will stay available for trial, a certain period of time. But after that, once we go commercial, it will be paid, a paid service, consumption-based billing, like many of the other service offerings in the space.
There's a lot more information on the Eon Accelerator on what it will be and how it will work and stuff in the Eon Accelerator presentation. Yeah. So I'd recommend go and see that.
Yeah, that's a good call, Paige. Tune in and see Vishal and Sumit's presentation. They're they'll answer a lot more of the questions and show a lot more of the details of what we built.
Okay, I think we're running low on questions. That was a really good Q&A session, guys. If anybody has another question, shoot it in there right now. All right, I think we're good. All right. So
cool. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you to our audience for your great participation. And be sure and check out the Developer Lounge if you think of a question that you forgot to ask. or if you just want to talk to the developers who are bringing this to life and see what's cooking. Now, don't forget to type the session code into the Analyze to Win section on the event navigation panel. Your code for this session is Pomeranian. Please note that a replay of today's event and a PDF copy of the slides will be available on demand shortly, as I mentioned. And now, here is a message from our platinum sponsor, Pure Storage.
Pure Storage FlashBlade, the leading unified fast file and object platform, or UFFO, is built to address the needs of modern, unstructured data and consolidate workloads on a single platform. FlashBlade delivers performance, simplicity, and scalability to power the most demanding workloads while enabling modern analytics and delivering unmatched data protection, rapid restore, and ransomware protection, all with less downtime thanks to non-disruptive upgrades.